Did you take it from me or did I take it? It from you? Prince looked up from the purple guitar he had taken with him. The green room for the Tonight Show went. Be quiet. David Bowie was standing in the entrance, still wearing all of his own cosmetics, watching Prince's fingers move in this part, over the fretboard. What are you? What are you saying? Prince asked, not stopping that chord sequence. Bowie said to go inside and shut the door. The door behind him. The one you are playing at the moment. It was the month of October 1984. Prince's record was the best-selling one in the United States. Bowie had recently finished a stadium tour that changed the way people saw live performance. They were both supposed to be there for the same taping of The Tonight Show, carefully doing interviews one after the other, planned such that they never cross paths. The producers knew what the rest of the industry knew. These two didn't just not like each other. They had been locked up for 3 years in a creative conflict that changed pop music itself. The music itself. A writer for Rolling Stone. It was nicknamed the Cold War with a bass line. But that wasn't what happened that night. What happened in the 14 minutes that passed before Prince came in, Bowie had an interview. Would never be shown on TV. Doc Severinsen recorded everything on a normal TDKSA 90 cassette tape that he taken from the green room deck. Carson. He would later beg for that tape. Put it in his nightstand for years and don't ever play it again. Just 3 persons saw the whole thing happen. Fred Day. Cordova passed away without discussing it. Doc brought it up once in 2003 and then wouldn't say more. And Carson, for the rest of his life, anytime someone asked him to name the craziest time in 30 years of hosting, he'd stop and then talk about something else. If you want to watch this channel, make sure you're subscribed. It truly helps us. Doc Severinsen never held on to the cassettes. People would ask to hear the music they walked into. He would play it again in the green room's tape deck. Then get rid of it. Standard TDKSA 90s from The Shack. By October 1984, he had probably deleted more than 2,000 playbacks. But that night he held on to one. At 11:43. For minutes before Prince's PM. Doc heard sounds through the entrance door to the green room. Not furious, not loud. But the tone of voice made him press. Put the record on the deck inside and step back. It wasn't meant for him to catch what he did. The lives are real. The people think about talking. To get it, go back 3 years to see why that recording was important. Years. The industry began in 1981. Watching Bowie and Prince go around each other. Scary was recently out by Bowie. Monsters. Prince had gotten through with controversy. Different lanes, but reporters started asking each other about the another. Not as friends, but as enemies. The music press needed a fresh fight. Except neither of them grabbed the bait. During interviews, they were careful. Prince got a call from Bowie. That's interesting. Bowie named Prince. Important. But behind the scenes, people saw things. A designer of lights claimed. Both artists asked inquiries about how things worked regarding the other person's setup. A store that sells records. The shopkeeper reported that Bowie bought 3 copies of The day it came out in 1999. King asked for the masters of Bowie's Let's Dance months before it came out. They were crazy about each other, but not in a competitive way. It was a sign of respect. Bowie recognized in Prince what he had lost, the capacity to possess a stage without having to. Character. Prince moved like everyone else. Gesture comes from a real place. Bowie had made a living by being far away. Prince was doing the opposite, and it worked. Prince sensed something in Bowie that he couldn't. Freedom and access. Bowie was 10. Walked away from different individuals in 15 years. From all of them. Prince was locked up. Into the Prince. Bowie made ambient music. Soundscapes, then dance pop, and eventually whatever else. What he desired. No one asked about it. When NBC made reservations for both on October 18, 1984. Fred de Cordova got scared. He made a system. Bowie gets there at 5 p.m. Interviewees at 6:30 p.m. and leaves before. At 7:15 p.m., Prince comes in. Neat. Parting. It almost worked. At 6:47. Bowie didn't depart until 6 p.m. He left on foot. Stage after his interview and then turned. Went left toward the green rooms. The production assistant sought to change the direction of him. Mr. Bowie, your car is ready. 5 minutes. He said not to slow down. Green. Room 2, the door is partially open. He heard guitar, with someone playing a riff. 3 times he knew it right away. Notes that go down. He had employed them in 1976, station to station. Now, Prince was employing them in When Doves Scream. Prince was on the couch with a black suit, ruffled purple Stratocaster. A white shirt. He didn't look up. Did you take it from me? Bowie stated. Or did I take it from you? Fingers of the Prince stopped. What are you saying? That chord pattern. Prince raised his head. You think I took this? I assume one of us heard it from another. Bowie stepped in and shut the door closed, and he doesn't remember. Or maybe both of us thought of it as 2 things. 3 notes. In that order? Not likely. Said Prince. Put down the guitar. What do you desire, then? I want to know if you know you do. What do you want? Take some. Prince leaned back. You have a lot to say. Bowie grinned. Not the smile on TV. Let's get up and dance. The pattern of the drums. That was from 1999. You know it is. Bowie sat on the other side of the couch's end. Then we're all set. Prince picked up the guitar once more. Why? Are you actually here? I don't know. I saw your act at Madison Square Garden last year. The back row. You were present. You seemed bored. Yes, I was. So why do? What is it? Because I do it well. The choreography, the show. Bowie's. The voice was flat. But it's not real. Prince took a look at the instrument. I looked at people who are heroes. Every move in the right place. Needs to be. But you weren't there. Bowie didn't answer. Prince was correct. I do the same thing. The prince said. No. On stage and in every other place. I play the part. What part? Prince. He told. It was like it belonged to someone else. I don't know who he is anymore. To be. Bowie leaned in. I made Ziggy because I was so scared of being David Jones. All of the characters. Following that, only better versions that didn't have to be scared. But you can walk. Gone. Is it possible? In 1973, I killed Ziggy. Ziggy is still what people call me. Said of Prince. Put the guitar down. Do you ever feel like? You feel like you're looking at yourself from the outside? Every day. Carson saw it. Right away. Fred showed there at 7:32 p.m. Stressed on stage left. During the ad. Bowie is still in the green room. With Prince. 18 minutes. Carson looked. Looked at the clock. How long? 8 minutes. We wait for 7. Do you ever? Can't you control it? Bowie wanted to know. What do you mean? Do you ever pause on stage? Stop thinking and go. That's all I do. No. You do a great job, however you. Do you ever quit doing your job? Prince's mouth got tighter. You believe I'm lying? You assume you have control over everything. Take notice of every step. Doesn't that wear you out? You've been 10 different people. A new persona on each album. You never must be responsible. That's not freedom. That is concealing. Bowie left. Still. If I lose control for just 1 second. Prince went on. People see who I am. Really am. A youngster from Minneapolis. Who was lucky. But what about you? You just put on a different mask. There was no anger in the silence. It was a sign of respect. We're doing the same thing. Bowie stated. Only turned upside down. What do you mean? You won't let go because you're scared of getting lost. I won't hang on because I'm scared of finding myself. We are both scared, but for different reasons. At 7:39 p.m., Doc hit the record button. The tape was already loaded, and the red light was on. Shining. I saw you inside at the June Forum. You never stop. Like. There was nothing else. I can't do that. I think of the cameras and the set list. But you were just there. That's not a praise. Yes, it is. You have faith. You. No, I don't. You want to know. Why did I come to your show? I wanted to see what it looked like when someone wasn't not scared. I thought I would be able to halt. Feeling like I'm doing my own life. Bowie shook his head. That wasn't free. That was on autopilot. It seemed like freedom. People have told me how brave I am for 15 years. The truth is worse. I don't know who I am without a part to play. The door swung open. Hey Johnny. Carson stood in the green room's doorway. Room 2. Prince was meant to go for a walk. In 4 minutes through the curtain. But that wasn't on Carson's mind. He was seeing two men who were sitting on opposite ends of a couch, both of them were perfectly still and staring at the ground. "Hey guys." Carson spoke softly. Neither of them moved. He went inside and shut the door and sat down in the chair across from them. Not sitting on the brink. Actually sat down. "Fred is preparing to have a stroke out there," Carson stated. "He believes you two are going to kill each other." First, Bowie looked up. "We are." "No. I can see that." Carson looked over at the prince. "What are you up to?" 9 seconds of quiet. Carson numbered them. He had been learning to read for 30 years. No sound. This was an empty space. The kind that people understand they've said something when things they can't change. Trill. Prince finally looked up. "Speaking about how chords move," Bowie stated. There was almost a grin. "Is that it?" "No," Prince said. Carson leaned back. Fred's voice was muffled outside. Through the wall. The room felt not part of the show. Like they would came out of time. "Do you both really detest each other?" Carson asked. Bowie and Prince stared at each other. Slowly turn. Like they were seeing each other for the first time. For the first time, they could see each other clearly. "No," Bowie stated. "So what is this?" Carson made gestures between them. "Because for 3. Everyone has been waiting for you for years. To kill each other. We are not fighting," Prince stated in a hushed voice. "I understand. I'll ask again, then. What is this?" Bowie said first. "Have you ever seen someone and thought, that's me? You're scared of becoming?" Carson became quite still. "Not a competitor." Bowie kept going. "It's simply a mirror, but it's upside down. They do everything you can't. With no trouble. All that you've made. They don't need to live their lives around you." Now Prince was watching Bowie. "I see," Bowie remarked, "Look at him," and pointed to Prince, "and I see a person who can walk on stage and simply be there. No character. There is no distance, and it scares me because for 20 years, I've been proving that I can be anyone except David Jones. Prince's." The voice was barely above a whisper. I see someone who can, when I look at him, leave characters and albums behind. From whole incarnations of himself. He killed Ziggy Stardust on stage and then left. On. I can't do that. I'm stuck in. Prince. I don't know how to let go. Because I don't know who's going to let go. Gone. Bowie spun around to face him. But you don't have to let go. You have. What I gave up, consistency. You're not scared to be the same person. Twice, and you don't mind being no. One, Prince remarked, is freedom. No, it's erasing. Carson had talked to more than 20,000 people in 30 years. He had learned how to tell when it was time. When someone stopped acting and happened by mistake. That was that moment. He took a breath and said, question he had never asked anyone else. TV, is the person you want to be in this room right now? Bowie's. The answer came right away. Not at all. The Prince. Took more time. No. Carson slowly nodded. Mine isn't either. The three of them sat down. In that admission, nobody moved to fill the quiet. I was Johnny Carson. Carson finally said, for 30 years. The voice was quieter now. I put on the costume every night and do I'm exactly who America expects me to be, and somewhere along. I am who they want me to be, and at some point along the way I forgot how to be someone else. Johnny is the reason my marriage has failed. Carson doesn't have any significant problems. I have been doing it for so long that I don't recall how it feels to quit. He looked at them both. You want to know what? What do I see when I look at you two? Men who? You still have an option. You're still young. Enough, good enough, but you won't leave because you're scared of the same thing that I am. What is that? Prince asked. That without there's nothing left after the show. Bowie bent down. When was the last time? Moment you were just yourself? Carson thought. Concerning it. 1962. Before the show tonight. I would I would read in my dressing room. No one thought anything. I didn't matter, and that was okay. That's it. What happened? I got successful, yet success comes with a price. You are the cost. Prince took up the guitar in purple again. What should we do? I don't know, but we don't act like way didn't happen. We don't just walk out and leave. Back to acting like everything's okay. What happens next? Bowie wanted to know. We keep in mind that we're all scared, and that might be enough. Prince said. First, I heard Let's Dance 47. I had to think about it a few times before I understood what you meant. Did Bowie stared at him? What did I do? What do? You made it sound easy, but I could hear the seams, the spots where you were trying too hard to sound like. I saw that you weren't trying and I knew you were afraid. You were the whole album. Being afraid of losing importance. Bowie's jaw got tense and then loosened. Yes, and it killed me, Prince. Kept going because I assumed you were the one individual who wasn't terrified. But you're stuck just as I am. You just better hide it. I don't keep it a secret. Better. I hide it in a different way. Prince nodded. The same thing. The tape and the cassette kept rushing in the green room. Side A was practically filled. Doc Severinsen stood, seeing the red outside in the hallway. The light glowed. Bowie stood up inside. I should leave. Prince said to let them, but he also stood. Carson stayed in his seat. I want you to do something before you go. Do anything for me? What? Bowie asked. Don't bring this up, not to the press, not to anyone. Hold on to this. Talking in this room because as soon as it gets out, it becomes a tale. And stories need to have endings. This doesn't need an end. Prince looked at Bowie. Some understanding without words went back and forth between them. Agreed, Bowie said. Agreed, Prince said again. Carson stood. Now go away before Fred has that stroke. They walked together to the door. Carson unlocked it and stepped into the hall. Fred showed up with a headset. Off center. Where have you been? All is. Carson said that was fine. Prince is prepared. Prince walked by Carson on his way to his position at the door. He did it 3 times. Took a few feet, then stopped and turned around. He took something out of his jacket and brought it out. A little, sturdy purple guitar pick. He had used it for the Purple Rain solo. In the Forum. He held it out. Bowie took. Without saying a word. Then Bowie got to inside the jacket of his white suit and pulled. Took out a wrinkled Polaroid picture. Faded. He gave it to Prince. Prince gazed down. A single person in a Berlin apartment, no face in sight, just a shadow. Who is this? The Prince inquired. Bowie answered, I don't know. I discovered it in a studio in 1977. I believe it's meant to be me, but it may be anyone. Prince got it. He put the picture in his pocket. Neither one said anything else. Prince stepped over to the stage. Bowie walked toward the door. They didn't turn around. Carson stood, watching them go in different directions. Doc showed up next to him. Did you get all that? Carson asked. Doc held up the tape. There is a lot on side A. And what about side B? Empty. Keep it that way. This way. You aren't going to listen? No. Why not? If I listen, I will hear myself say the truth, and I am not ready for it yet. Doc stood, standing alone in the hall with a tape clip of 3 men admitting they had lied to their whole lives. Everyone, including themselves. The light for recording was remained on. That night, Prince's interview was on the air. Minutes, no mention of Bowie. The discourse in the room stayed hidden, although something changed. In the following 2. Bowie's albums become rougher over the years, whereas Prince's. The shows got more relaxed. People who didn't like it noticed, but couldn't say why. The doctor gave the 3 days later, Carson got the cassette. Carson put it in his nightstand. He never played it once in 20 years. The industry kept the competition going. Story. Bowie and Prince never fixed it. They never talked to each other again. But their music presented a different story. January 2005. 3 days before Carson died, his wife found him with the cassette in his hand. What is it? 3 men speaking the truth. Did you ever pay attention? No. If I hear, I'll remember how it felt when I heard it again. Want to be authentic. She grabbed the cassette. Do I need to preserve it? Set it on fire? What those 3 males said it wasn't meant to last. She torched it the next morning. Side A and side B melting into one. No more voices. The purple pick for the guitar lingered in Bowie's coat until 2016. Prince kept the Polaroid in his pocket till 2016. Neither guy ever said what they meant. Did 2 artists battle to keep human ever have a chance against the machine that made them well known? Or that night was proof that even when we still tell the truth, doing this made you think in a different way about celebrity, performance, and the price of being who the world wants you to be. B. Share it, sign up, and ask. When was the last time you did it? Was that you?